All right, so there you have it. That's the 2023 Crosswind Paddle Cup. This race previously was called the Richmond Paddle Cup, and the generation or iteration before that, it was called the James River Rundown. Way back in the day, it used to be an ultra marathon. They would have a 40-mile version, a 75-mile version, a 100-mile version, and then one year they did a 120 or 140-mile version. I had done all of those. I started with the 25, went to the 40, then did the 100, and then I did the, I think it was a 120-mile from Lynchburg all the way to Richmond. This year they shortened it. They did away with the long race, and the longest one was the 5-miler, where you start at Robius Landing Park. You paddle up to the Route 288 bridge, circle a pier, and come back. Now, in the kayak division, there were only a handful of us, 3 of us in high-end competitive kayaks or surf skis, a few other rec boats, and there was no category for outrigger canoes or unlimited, so there were a couple outriggers in this race also who showed up, and they lumped them in with the kayakers. But the kayakers we kind of all agreed that, like, we're going to do our own thing in terms of who ranked where. It's not fair to compete against outriggers, and I think the outrigger people were okay with that too. So yeah, I'm as I put this video together, and I hope it comes out, I'm going to try to go a little bit longer form than I usually do in these videos, and explain some of the strategy and what happened along the race, and kind of narrate you through my mindset as I'm doing one of these races. Like I said, it was 5 miles. I cut a couple corners. My GPS had it at 4.4 miles. But 5 miles is not a sprint, but it's not an ultra marathon. So you got to find something in between where you're close to maxing out, but you're not. You're saving some energy in the tank for later in the race. You're kind of going at a fast, normal pace, higher than what you would do during training, at least what I do during training, but you're not at full race speeds or sprint speeds most of the time. And I just tried to keep my main competition near me and not allow them to create a gap in front of me, and then try to catch up to them on the second half of the race, and then save enough energy in my tank to overcome them, hopefully. And that's exactly what happened in this race, and I'll talk you through that. I was in my Westside Boat Shop Marauder kayak. That is the fastest Westside Boat Shop kayak there is, I believe. It is becoming my favorite boat. And I am the owner of Westside Boat Shop Kayaks. You can check them out at davethekayaker.com. And at the top of the page there, you will see a Westside Boat Shop catalog. These are not run-of-the-mill kayaks where anybody can buy one and just jump in and go fast. They require a skilled paddler. So give me a call. Talk to me if you come from a history of racing skinny boats or surf skis. We can probably talk through what's the most likely boat for you. But ultimately, I feel most comfortable if you plan a trip to Charlottesville, Virginia, or we plan a trip to meet somewhere, and I can allow you to test paddle these boats first, because most people would consider them very, very tippy, and you need to know what you're getting into, and I need a certain degree of comfort to know that I'm not selling you way too much something more than you can handle. Because if you overbuy a boat and you cannot handle the tippiness, you're going to fall over a lot, and you're not going to have fun. It might turn you off from the sport, and that's the last thing I want to do. I want to help competitive paddlers go fast and get them in these wonderful decked kayaks that they can skirt if they want to. So if you do flip during a race, you can roll it back upright. But more importantly, these are wonderful decked training boats, so you can train all fall and winter long without being exposed to the elements. Your lower body stays warmer and dry. So that's what I'm all about. So enjoy this video. I hope to actually edit something reasonable together over the next few days. I'll talk to you soon. And until next time, love this sport, take what it has to give you, and pay it forward. All right, so here we are at the beginning of the race, something like 9:15 in the morning. I'm getting into my boat, and there's a rowing club right there.
and some rowers were getting on the water. We were all sharing the same dock. I'm working out my hydration tube there, and there's this rowing scull on my left that's about to launch, and there's another one coming up on the right. So I didn't want to get in their way, so I'm just kind of hanging here, laying low, just trying to launch and get myself out onto the water.
What did he say, 2 minutes?
So there, the race organizer said 2 minutes until the start, and that little pink flamingo there next to the boat, just to center right of the video, that was the starting line. So I'm paddling back to join the pack to get ready to start when they say go. And here we are, ready to go. And they actually said 3, 2, 1, go, and here's the start of the race. So you see 2 outrigger canoes directly in front of me, left and right. Bunch of paddle boarders, but by this point I've already passed them all. And my paddling buddy Dave is on my left there. And we knew right away that our job today was not only to compete against each other, but to track down these 2 OC1s. Outrigger canoes are much faster and longer than kayaks, so we were really in different categories, even though the race organizers did not designate anything other than kayaks. So here we are trying to stay on the tracks of the outrigger canoes because they had a major advantage. They're not kayaks, even though they were lumped into the kayak division because there were just no other divisions. We knew the kayakers knew we were competing against each other, but if we could knock off a OC1 or 2, that would be amazing because they're so much faster. So here we're actually paddling upstream on the James River, and you might not be able to tell yet, but the river bends here, and I'm trying to stay as far right on this bank as I possibly can, and then do a straight line left on the next bank to cut down the distance. Straight lines are the key, and I was trying to minimize the amount of miles I needed to paddle during this race. Here I'm doing a little bit faster than a fitness pace. Paddling buddy Dave has been on my left the whole time. We've been pretty even. Here you see him starting to squirt in front of me, and I knew the race was on at this point. He was in his Stellar SEI surfski. I was in my Westside Boat Shop Marauder. And there was another guy who showed up who we thought might be a ringer. He was in an Epic V9, so we didn't really know where he was. At this point, we thought he might be right behind us. So we knew the race was on. There was 3 of us, and we were just going to go at it. Again, I'm trying to maintain a straight line. You see the bridge there? That's the Route 288 bridge. We got to just pass one of those piers and then return. Paddling buddy Dave there on my left jumps out to the lead, which was okay. We're playing a game here where we're trying to figure each other out and not expend too much energy too early, and see if somebody can just dominate and destroy the other person versus hanging together and like working it out till the end. And we'll see what happens here. So paddling buddy Dave has clearly taken the lead here, and I'm just kind of falling in behind. I don't want him to get too far away. So when I need to, I'm expending energy to like catch up and stay close, but I'm not trying to pass him at this point. Here we do the bridge pier buoy turn. There goes Dave around that buoy. Let's say the bridge pier. And I kind of slow down and hang back because I know when he turns around, he's going to be looking to see where I am. And if I can hide behind this pier and he doesn't see me, it's going to keep him guessing. But that cost me some distance behind him. You see here, he created a bit of a gap. But we're halfway through this race, and I'm still thinking, I don't know, he might kick my butt this day. I just need to hang with him and stay close, and hopefully right at the end, if I reserve enough energy.
You got this. Looking good, looking good.
Two stand-up paddleboarders going the other way. One of them I met at Chattajack a couple years ago. They were duking it out. But I'm just hoping I can stay close to Dave and keep him within the distance where I can possibly reel him in at the end and maybe make it a race at the end. Alright, I've sped this little bit up from real time. It was a beautiful day, cool morning, but the sun was coming up at this point and it got really, really hot. And we were both starting to feel it. I'm just trying to keep up with Dave, not let him get too far ahead. At this point, I thought if I could pass him, I would. But it's not the kind of race where you're gonna like trade off the lead and help each other draft, because it's not that long a race. And at this point, it was just mano y mano. It was me versus him, duking it out for first place. So the strategy was keep him close and hope I had enough energy at the end to just do a sprint and beat him. I'm not sure he knew exactly where I was behind him, but I'm pretty sure he knew I was pretty close behind. I'm just trying to do the most efficient strokes I have without expending too much energy. I was focusing on maximizing paddle efficiency, staying close to Dave, keeping him very close, and then saving gas in the tank. Now we're getting fairly close to the finish line. I think we can see it at this point. It's like maybe a half a mile away. And I'm starting to think about when do I make my move, if I'm going to make my move. Buddy Dave and I have been training together for years. We've been training together recently in a K2. We are really, really, really good friends and good buddies. And this is all in the spirit of good-natured competition. It's just amazing when you have somebody this close to you who is as competitive, but you love each other, you train together, but come race day, you want to beat the other one. And we respect that in each other. So here I actually got right on his wake. I'm actually drafting in here a bit. And here I make my move. The finish line is about, I'm going to say, maybe a half mile, quarter mile away. And here's where I decided I'm just going to sprint. I'm giving it everything I have left at this point. And I don't know what Dave is doing behind me. I know I just passed him, but I know he kicked it up, and I don't know exactly where he is. I'm not going to turn around and look. You are just paddling full force straight ahead, hoping for the best. Yeah, and this is what heavy breathing sounds like in an old man trying to compete in a young man's sport. Giving it everything I have. Still don't know where paddling buddy Dave is behind me. Or next to me.
22! 22!
I'm shouting out my race number to the people on the dock to the right, not fully realizing the finish line is just ahead of me in the middle of the river on that boat with the pink flamingo. That's the finish line. So I had more
22!
More sprinting to do.
Ah!
And I still didn't know where Dave was here.
Holy crap. Ah!
And then I hear him yell behind me his number, and that's when I actually knew that I beat him. It was weird. Amazing, but weird.
Hello. Having fun?
And here I am coming into the dock. I'm completely spent, reaching up to my camelback to grab some fluids there and just enjoy some sights and scenes here at the finish line. Some of the boats. There's me before the race, after the race. Yeah. There's Dave. Love you, buddy. Good competition. There are the awards. A couple of the other kayakers. There's me getting my award. And paddling buddy Dave is coming up here next. There it is. And here are my GPS tracks. And here's where you can see where I tried to draw a straight line and cut some distance off this race. And there's some statistics. 1,518 strokes. And what an amazing race.
An extraordinary racing kayak made in the finest American tradition. Or maybe just own a piece of American kayaking history. You want a West Side Boat Shop kayak, now available from davethekayaker.com. West Side Boat Shop kayaks. The tradition continues.